All right, let's talk about Ixidor. But real quick, if you missed it yesterday, I will be one of the creators at MagicCon Atlanta. I won't be bringing any books of mine or anything at this point because they're heavy and they're hard to lug around. But if you have one of my books and you want a signature, I will have my signing pens with me. And I plan on doing the Redacted event and one of the unknown events. All right, all that out of the way, let's talk about Ixidor, which is one of my TikTok requests. If you have any lore requests, pop it in the comments. I'm gonna have a lot of time to get to this stuff. So Ixidor was an illusionist, kind of like Jace, but it turned out he was secretly something more. Ixidor was a fighter in the Cabal fighting pits during the Odyssey and Onslaught blocks. He was fighting alongside his lover, Nevaeh. Nevaeh was killed by Phage, who was... It's a whole thing, I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, she was like a person corrupted by the Cabal. She had this deadly touch. And Ixidor went off in his grief and discovered in the desert by himself that he could do more than create illusions, he could shape reality. And he ended up using these powers to create a chroma. Chroma was made in the image of Nevaeh and was sort of his tool to get revenge. As the plot moves on, we learn about the Numena. The Numena were wizards who essentially were the first ones to defeat the primeval dragons way back in the day. They are these ancient and powerful, almost godlike wizards. There are 3 of them, black, red, and blue. Ixidor was the, incarnation of the blue one. The black one, Kuber, was, who the Cabal worshipped. And the red one was, a living city or something. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Odyssey and Onslaught blocks. Anyway, Ixidor ends up being eaten by, a nightmare worm. And inside, it just shows him a vision of Nevaeh, so he's, happy. He's like, oh, hey, my love. That is until a character named Kamal, who is, the main character, sort of the Conan the Barbarian lead of these stories, breaks him out and asks for his help to kill Corona, who, was formed by the fusion of 3 women, each of whom were sort of the avatars of one of the Numena. So, a Chroma is in there, Phage is in there, and there's another woman in there who never got a card. However, the Numena Llewellyn ends up taking over Ixidor's mind. He's no longer an avatar, he just becomes the vessel for this Numena. And they end up getting killed in the battle with the Chroma. And that's the end of his story. Just pure tragedy.